Jacob.
Eric, how you doing, man?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. Living the dream.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a busy show. You worn out yet?
I am worn out. We're here on day 3. You've been here the whole time, right? All 3 days?
Yeah.
Running around, hustling?
Hustling. Been here at 8 o'clock every morning.
Yeah. Are you wheeling and dealing? Or are you just looking and buying? Or
I am wheeling and dealing. I'm doing some guerrilla sales.
Okay.
I got some pictures of my knives in the back of my car, and I was like, look, if you want them, come find me.
Yeah.
So it's been a good time. Moved a couple of them. I enjoy doing that. For a blade show, I am allowed to do that as an exhibitor, just in case someone wants to get in my butt. But
they will anyway. It's Jacob on YouTube. They're gonna give you a hard time. It doesn't matter what you say.
Oh, for sure. You ain't kidding. So,
nice.
So, how many videos do you think you filmed?
As of last night, we were at like 32 or 33 features.
Wow.
Today we've done 3, and then this is number 4.
Holy
if this is
cow.
considered a feature.
Yeah. Man, I'll be lucky if I hit over 10, and I'm about worn out with that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Hey, we're here with Carlos. It's what we do.
Yep.
So and it's nice having a partner. You're kind of a one-man band, so it's hard when you're hustling and cranking by yourself, and especially, I know you have a lot of important conversations that you have to have along the way too. So it takes away.
It's kind of weird because I'm primarily YouTubing, but then I've got my own knives that I'm showing off, and then I'm networking and I'm meeting people, and then I'm a knife nerd, and so I start talking about knives, I just lose track of time. What's going on here? So it's hard.
Speaking of knife nerds, you picked up something pretty nice here, huh?
So this is the Diamondback X from Bobby Garza at Diamondback Country Knives. He is a Grail knife maker of mine who's become a very personal friend. A fantastic working knife in 3V, black burlap micarta, carbon fiber pins. Weighs like 16 ounces, man. So people look at knives this size and think that they look unwieldy or something like that. It doesn't feel it. It's just an extension of your hand.
Yeah.
It's a joy to use.
No, I picked it up, and my first impression was just, wow, how light and nimble. And that's probably because, I would call this a full flat grind. It basically is. Could you call that an extremely high saber? Maybe, but no, it's a full flat grind, so you lost a lot of that blade mass. It's going to make this extremely wieldy, also extremely slicey. By the time you get behind that secondary grind, thinning out there, this thing is going to be a slicing machine.
Yeah, I was shocked for the length, how well it worked going around the jungles of Kentucky as a machete. You just do a little snap cut and you get that perfect sound of the perfect cut that goes straight through with no resistance, and it just does it fantastically.
It actually, that would make a real good camp knife for someone like me. I would personally, I do a lot of like fire prep, so I know it's not going to baton quite as well, but at the same time it's going to do it, and that's going to help me clear out a campsite real quick. I do a lot of hammock camping, so that would be like ching, 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 right down through all the branches that are in the way, get rid of all those eye pokers and things you don't want to walk into. And it's funny that you said the jungles of Kentucky. I had an opportunity to go actually to Jacob's house, but it was a year ago now, and just go hang out and have some fun. And dude, your property literally is a jungle.
Yeah, it's wild, man. If it wasn't for the ticks and mosquitoes, I'd love it, but a jungle's got its bugs.
How are your goats?
They're great, man. Just had 3 goats this year, little kids, and
really?
And they're great.
No shit.
Hey, so you've got some wild stuff here. I saw a little bit of it earlier. God, look at that finish.
It's my show knife, man. It's my show knife. So, Woodscraft Chonto, Work Tough gear. Actually, I had some real good luck. It's funny because last year at this time I had 1 knife on 1 booth, and this year I actually had 10 knives on 4 booths, which was nice. It's nice to grow. It's nice to get further along, see my own personal growth, but actually everybody here too. So that's been great. And I wanted to do something special this year with this model, really dress it up. So Thrash and Clang?
Yep.
So Tack had him do the custom Cerakote work. and my only like 2 real things was just nothing, no words, because if you know Thrashing Clang, you can get a little politically incorrect, and I was afraid of if I didn't say something, you never know what would end up on here. And so I gave this to Zeke Menacho at the Work Tough booth, and the first thing he said was, "I bet you he Cerakoted a dick right into the middle of the thing." I'm like, "Oh no, he probably did." So I asked him, and he goes, "I think there is a dick in it."
Yeah, but you haven't found it yet?
I haven't found it yet.
I have to take those scales off and look.
Oh, geez, you might be right.
Nah, not quite. Yeah, it might be under the scales.
But yeah, and I love
the whole thing.
I love black multicam, so the fact that he came up with that black multicam on his own, I said just make what you want. I was like, dude, that is like the gin.
Well, I love, this is an orange that doesn't necessarily attract attention so bad. It's kind of a nice rust orange, and I love how it's also carried through in the hardware and in the scales. Like the attention of detail with how the colors work together on this is sweet. And I think similar, to the Diamondback Country, holding this, I'm thinking, man, I could whip through some stuff back there in Kentucky, no problem. This feels like a fast blade.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was the idea behind it. A lot of the Work Tough stuff is heavy built and made for that real hard use chopping tasks, so they go with 1/4-inch stock. I did want to keep this particular knife lighter because I do a lot of hiking, a lot of deep mountain wilderness hikes, and I just wanted something that was going to be light enough that I could still do the work yet not completely weigh me down. Yeah, so that was my show blade, man. That's cool.
Fantastic.
So what's next for Jacob?
Well, I've got a new knife design that we're working on, the Legionnaire. Right now,
I've seen and heard rumors.
Yeah. I'm currently making the exact same knife in 8 different steels. So when we release this thing, I can say that I tested all of these steels with the same tests, and I picked the right steel for this knife.
That's a good idea.
And it's a big investment though too.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna break all of them. But we're going to do a lot of testing with all of them. It won't be perfectly scientific. I can't have 150 knives made for a perfectly scientific test, but we're going to do our best. I'm really excited about it because I think it's going to be an ideal combat knife, but it's also going to be very utilitarian and versatile. It's hard to be ideal at one thing but still be versatile for a bunch of things, but that's really what I'm shooting for.
Well, and it's based upon that original traditional classic design. So first and foremost, it's tried and true, but it's your modern take on it. So that's the question. It does that design element that you add to it, your flair, your take on it, translate into the same function that people have come to know for decades.
Exactly. People have been ventilating other people and doing camp tasks with this design for over 100 years. The knives originated in about 1910. And when I realized that not many people knew about the history of what could be the most prolifically used combat knife in modern history, nobody even knew what it was, I realized that was something to latch onto and to work towards and to modernize and make a little more practical with modern materials.
Right.
And I'm very excited about it. What about you? What do you got going?
A couple irons in the fire, so still continuing to proceed with Work Tough gear. That's been fantastic. I got some of the designs I'm working with Tanev family knives, so that's been the brothers in Bulgaria I've been working with for a little while. We actually have a new model we're working on right now, which I think we're talking about trying to do a Kickstarter, which would be awesome. So fully designed. At this point, it's going into the prototype stages, and I should expect to see something to start testing soon, which I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, cool little camp knife coming out. I'm excited.
Fantastic. Well, I love their work. So what's cool about having a manufacturer like them, or my manufacturer is White River Knife and Tool here, is no matter what, with a company so reputable that cares so much about their quality, your customers know if the design looks nice, the quality will be there.
Yep.
And also, it's just peace of mind. It's an extra peace of mind that if they really like it and they pick it up, they know the quality that they're going to get already.
Nice. And then just one little last tiny thing. Shout out to Tim Kell. So T-Kell Knives. We've collaborated, this little guy. So very fresh off the lot, prototype. with actually just literally 3D printed handles for the show just to get something in my hands.
Yeah.
But we're calling this the accomplice.
The accomplice.
It's the little knife you got caught with. When you got caught, this was on you. It's your little accomplice.
Was this a G14 classified until now, or
No.
like was this a secret up until Blade Show?
It wasn't really a secret, but we hadn't had anything really to show. So I mean, this was the first time we were able to actually just get it out. I mean, this is probably the first time, other than I did a video with Tim, but other than that, this is the first time it's really ending up in anybody's hands. So you're kind of the first to see it.
I love it. I love the swedge, and I love the edge geometry here. That's awesome, man. I like your thumb notch. I'm surprised I hadn't seen it because I feel like most of the stuff you do I see, but this is out of the blue for me and looks fantastic, man.
Thank you. Yeah, very slim. Trying to strike a balance between it looking like a T-Cal knife. To me, when I design, it needs to look like the manufacturer who's making it. I think that's important, and especially if it's not branded only for my name. If it's a collaboration, it has to look like a collaborative design. So if you look at the T-Cal design aesthetics, very, very similar in everything that he does. Only the blade shape's going to be a little bit different. He usually goes with a slightly more aggressive handle, but again, I'm a bushcrafty guy. I'm not a tactical guy. So you'll see it's kind of rounded out and contoured a little bit differently. The little thumb scallop so you can get for those alternate grips. Still going to be able to do some scraping, still going to be able to get up on the blade, do some detailed work. And I really tried to keep the center pretty linear so that you have the ability to do little drilling tasks and whatnot. And I've been just kind of sitting here, and I say to Carlos every morning I've been getting in the car and I've just been like, I gotta just hang out with the blade, because you don't know what's going to work until you've spent some time with it. It's one thing to draw it, but it's another thing to have a working design in your hands, and just now you just like close your eyes and you feel it, and you're like, you need to be, if you can't work your way around the knife entirely with your eyes shut, like you haven't done enough work to figure it out yet.
Well, and in my opinion, that's really important because when you design a knife, like as knife people, if someone asks you why do you need a knife or what do you use a knife for, you might be able to tell them the basic things like opening a box or cutting something. But you don't really know everything that you use a knife for until you don't have a knife. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I use my knife for this every single day and I never thought about it until now. And if you don't use your prototype every day, you'll have a production knife and you'll use it for one of those daily tasks you would have never thought about. And you'll be like, oh man, this sucks for this and I should have designed this a little bit differently. So carrying it for every day for a knife like this, super important thing that I think doesn't get done enough because we can't think of all of the things that we use a knife for because it comes naturally to us. Fantastic, man. I love it. Feels super practical.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, shout out to Tim Kell. But Jacob, I appreciate it, man, as always. We're here at the White River booth. You have a lot of things up and coming. I think I do too. It's always great to see you, buddy.
Always exciting, man. Always exciting.
You're the man.